Hey YouTube family, good morning, good Friday morning. I'm gonna give y'all the Braxton family values. And this is the Braxton season 2, episode 3, Unbreak My Heart. And it gets to 2 weeks earlier. And Trina's husband Vaughn was talking to her about how he has fluid on his heart, and he tells her that he has gotten fluid off him before, pretty much. And he went to the doctor as well to get the fluid off of him. And she was just like, okay. Just unfazed, unbothered. I'm like, girl, do you really care about your husband or do you not? Weird. He tells her that he was 300 pounds. And it's like, I'm like, girl, you should know that about your husband. She just don't discuss stuff like that with her husband. I said, and that's evident. That is so evident. So evident. And then she's like, okay. He said he was 300 plus pounds. And after seeing the doctor, he went down to 275 pounds. And that's good. And Tamar's at the iHeartRadio podcast show with T.S. Madison. Outlaws podcast, and she says that they have been close for the last 12 years, and T.S. wants to get the lowdown on her niece. And then T.S. Madison, she want to know what's up with Ashley, and what's the tea, what's the drama, what's the tea, what's everything, what's going on. Okay. And she also says that she want to know because her co-host, T.S. Madison's co-host, have always said that the Braxtons were trouble. They were trouble people. I always said that the Braxtons were trouble people. So I'm like, okay. And then, Tamar, she got offended, of course, and she said that, see, the other season could have been, back from season 1. But Tay, she was offended. And she says that she was labeled a mean girl by her family. Season 1, her sisters. Because Tawanda was the first person to say that you're a mean girl. You're a mean girl. Ugh. I'm like, shut the hell up, Tawanda. And then we get to, of all people, Tawanda at the wedding dress shop, Ivy wedding dress shop. And then she had Miss E, and then she had her daughter, and then she was trying on wedding dresses and this and that. And then, not really important, because the dresses was ugly anyway. Okay. And we get into, her daughter Brooke, though. Her daughter Brooke was looking like to all them wedding dresses, and Miss E, she was like, I'm like, irrelevant, okay? Irrelevant. So we getting back to Trina, and Trina tells Vaughn that they are going to get rid of the unhealthy food, and they are both going to get on a diet. And of course he says no, and he can't let go of the unhealthy food. And then she said, well, they gonna get rid of the trail mix. And he said, no. And she said, well, the trail mix, because it has chocolate and unhealthy stuff in the trail mix. And then, okay, and he lay off of that. But honey, about them apple fritters, he said that he need them apple fritters. And then she said, no, I don't want you to have the apple fritters. I don't want you to have the apple fritters at all, because I just don't want anything to happen. And she said, I can't lose you. You get on my nerves, of course. Just her confessional. She said, you get on my nerves, of course, but I really cannot lose you. I can't lose you. I can't lose you. And it's settled. he decided that get rid of the unhealthy food. And then we get to Miss E's. No, because he said something about them Girl Scout cookies. And then Trina said, okay, I need a sweet. I have to have a sweet every time. Everyone said, it's kind of like it's not fair. And that's what he pretty much was saying. Okay. And she said, but she don't have a failing heart. And confessional. She said that she don't have a failing heart. I'm sure it better be in a confessional, Trina. The Braxtons are mean. They are mean. And their mother is mean. That's why they are mean. Because their daddy not mean. And Tamar, she act more like the daddy. Just saying. So we get into Tony, and Tony's crew is setting up for her arrival. And then they get the message that she was, get the message that Tony is at the ER. Tony's at the ER with Miss E. And Tawanda and Trina are talking in the hallway, and she says that she does not feel safe with Tamar around anymore. And then we getting saying that Miss E, we get to saying where Miss E is saying, well, it is saying that Miss E received, excuse me, y'all. It's saying that Miss E received a test showing a blockage in her heart. And then she was rushed to the emergency room for surgery to receive a stent. And Tamar and Trina are both in the room with Miss E, and they both just looking disheveled, which I understand because it's her mom. It's their mom. And then they tell Miss E when she wakes up about her status, because Miss E was like, where am I? Where am I? And then they told her what happened. And then Trina says, well, the last time she was in the hospital to get a stent, she had a stroke. So that's what she's not trying to go through, which I understand. She's not trying to go through that at all. And we get to, because she finally got released. Miss E finally got released. And then we get to them setting up at Miss E's house, to film. And she says that she was released earlier this morning. And she says with Tawanda, she says that she got her marriage license because she get a call from Tawanda and she tells her mom that she got her marriage license, and she tell her congratulations. Congratulations. And then Tony comes in to check on her and says that she is relieved that she is okay, because she didn't know what was going on and she didn't know what to do. She relieved. And then Tamar and Trina, they show up to both. They both look pretty, and Trina says that their sisterhood has been strained since Tamar invited Ashley on her podcast. And I'm like, girl, shut the hell up. Because you the reason why. So we get to Tawanda, Trina, and she says that she wants answers. Tawanda, Trina, and Tamar. And Tamar says that she wants answers regarding the cease and desist. And then Tony is there as well. And Tawanda looked at Tamar with a stank attitude. Okay. How she... I said, they really don't like each other. They really don't. And Tamar says that she has been celibate a year because Tony finally showed up too. And then Tony said, well, you were married last year. And Tamar said, well, she was not married last year. I'm like, Tamar, okay. Girl. And then Tawanda says that she did not give anyone the title of maid of honor, matron of honor, sitting up here lying and shit like that. I'm like, girl, you gonna say anything you can say to discredit Tamar. Okay? All right. And Tamar says to Tawanda that she knows where she lives because she put a down payment on the house for her. And she also been stealing her credit cards. Boom. And then for months, she stayed for months. And Tawanda then says, what have you stolen? And Tamar said, I mean, I ain't stole nothing. I ain't stole nothing. You know how Tamar be. You know how Tamar be. Tay. And then but Tawanda gonna say that the men, but you stole Tony's men. And then Tony was like, and then they started bleeping out every single thing. So I couldn't ascertain what man she trying to say that she stole. Then I know Tamar, she get up and she like, look here, you dumb bitch. And then she said, psh. And then the wine glass, whatever. And Trina and Tawanda. Towards Trina and Tawanda's section. And she was aiming, of course, that glass at Tawanda. But, you know, and then Trina was just still sitting like. She never moved or nothing. I said, okay, sing. Okay. And then Tawanda finally said, look, Tamar, you are such a liar. You are such a liar. Then Tamar starts to sing. Ooh, about what? She sounds better than me. But she said, about what? And then Tony gets up. Oh my goodness. When Tony get up, she said, I said, oh, Jesus have mercy. Why did Tony get up? I said, it had to have been her current husband or whatever. And she said, don't for Tony Braxton. Don't F with Tony Braxton, Tamar. Don't F with Tony Braxton, Tamar. I'm like, okay, don't F with Tony Braxton, Tamar. Please don't F with Tony Braxton. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm a little contrived for like a storyline or what have you. But what y'all think? Or what do y'all think? If y'all seen the episode, what do y'all think? Based off everything that I was saying, and I shortened it a whole lot. Because it just really just wasn't just given like that. And I feel like they being like Bell Collective. Just looking for something to do a story on. 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 Yeah. But, whew, y'all, I don't know what to say. It's just a little off kilter to me. The whole show is just a lot, like off kilter and all that. And I personally think that, I mean, it could have stayed off. It wouldn't have had to be this season. But it's evident that they probably need the exposure, the money and the exposure. And I do remember that when Tracy was there, she was the light of everything. I love Tracy. She was one of my favorites. In addition to Tamar and Tracy, they were my two favorites. Yeah. And I know Tracy, she was a little hard on Tamar too. But, you know, and, you know, good for him. And then, you know, they didn't really just talk to Tamar like that. So, So, with that being said, y'all, that was the Braxton Season 2, Episode 3, Unbreak My Heart. I want y'all to do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to get this up to y'all shortly. Bye, YouTube family, until I get it uploaded. And make sure y'all going to like and comment and subscribe. If y'all watching these 15 minutes that I gave y'all, then y'all should like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.